Skyforge is shutting down forever, and with just a few days before that happened, I created a brand new character, completely fresh start, and my goal was to speedrun through as much content as I could before the servers disappeared. Skyforge came out in 2017 by the devs from Allods along with Obsidian Entertainment, who you might know from games like Fallout New Vegas along with others. I played this game years ago, but stopped after the first few worlds due to a massive influx in pay-to-win aspects that blocked progression. However, with only a few days until shutdown, Skyforge had an event where they just gave everyone more than $100 worth of currency along with a free random legendary weapon, so now I can actually play through the game and see what I missed. And what made Skyforge interesting but also terrible at the same time is it had no real level system or anything, meaning that I can just pull the legendary item I got out during the very first mission of the game. And you are an immortal on the path to become a god, and your power is measured by how much might you have, and you get more might by getting more followers, and you get more followers from a few sources like dailies, but they don't really give a ton, and it's not really an option with moments until the servers close. However, the real main way to get your might up is to just pour real money in, which thankfully I can do. And now, during the very start of the game, I'm just about rank 50, which is the rank that you need to be to fight the final boss of the game, and equipped with a legendary weapon that changes some of my abilities to have exploding black holes, as well as I bought one of the 18 classes, the Slayer class, since the weapon I unboxed was for that class. And although now I'm down a sizable amount of the premium currency that they gave me, the wall I previously ran into on my other character is now completely gone, and I'm well past the character I actually put time into. And now it's time to actually play the game. And now at this point, I've unlocked everyone's favorite mechanic, the cash shop. I was waiting for this. Now I can get dripped out with all the currency they gave me, and so I can get whatever I need. So I'm getting naked. I haven't really been showing the cutscenes yet, but throughout the game, I've just been constantly aura farming. And the shirtless look should help with that. And I also picked up a few other things too while I was at it, such as a mount that just goes on your back, doesn't change your combat or anything, just gives you a constant flat 30% movement speed bonus, just by having it equipped. We're deep in the realm of pay to win now, but it's only just beginning. And now I'm truly ready to start just flying through this content, see all the new things I've never seen before, and I'm probably going to be the last person in the world to ever see them as well. And before we begin, I just want to point out, besides the bugs, there's also some really interesting plot points, like this guy trying to get married to one of the sea monster bosses. And then after one-tapping his future wife, you're just like, oh, we can't leave this guy alone. And then you immediately leave him alone. Just God things, you know, can't be bothered with stuff like that. There's also a lot of dialogue in this game that just isn't voiced by anyone, as well as there's a lot of cutscenes where you just go into like first person or something, and I really wish they explored that more because it's pretty cool. And I'm sorry to whoever animated these facial expressions, but some of them just gotta go, man. Like, I don't even understand what's going on here, and my character doesn't even understand what's going on either. And I gotta say, the combat in this game is pretty cool. You can do a lot of cool things with the Slayer class, and a lot of the other classes have really cool things going for them as well, and I'll show those later. But now it's time to roll the clips. Here is every single boss in the game getting one shot. And that takes us to the final boss fight. Throughout the game, you're trying to fight off Thanatos, and he possessed now the bad guy turned good's body. And this final boss fight is insane, man. Way better than I expected. And the fights before this were kind of stale, just your typical grind with minor mechanics. Granted, I was overpowered. But this fight was so cool. He shoots like lasers that break the platforms below you, and if you fall through the gap, then you die. You can also just make the lasers hit the enemies for bonus challenges and stuff. It's pretty crazy, and it looks sick, and it's such a shame that's behind so many paywalls, because if this, plus the really expansive endgame, was just available, it would have just helped the game's longevity so much.
Eliminate the hand of Thanatos' avatar.
What a terrifying arm! The avatar is awakening gradually. It looks like Thanatos' power is concentrated in this arm. Spark, catch it! Harita said it's important!
Extreme caution recommended. Maximum.
This is it. Thanatos' avatar is defeated.
And now we've unlocked the endgame. First things first, it should come as no surprise that there's a battle pass, and this is where I burned the rest of my currency, $100 worth of the premium currency for 200 levels of the battle pass, and that gave me another random legendary weapon, but this time for a class of my choice. So let's check out the other classes. There's a two-handed gunner, a dual-wield gunner, bounty hunter, Doc Ock from Spider-Man, knight, Warlock, Necromancer, Monk, Kinetic, Slayer, which I did the campaign in, Revenant, Soundweaver, Archer, Berserker, Druid, and then the basic starting classes of Lightbringer, Cryomancer, and Paladin. And although the Kinetic class is sick, I have to play the guitar class. It's so interesting with the different mechanics of hitting like certain notes and stuff. And after unboxing my legendary weapon, I was surprised to see that it changed the type of music that was playing as well. I went from this like techno-y beat to rock music, which is actually an incredibly cool detail that it's tied to your gear. And a lot of content is unlocked now that I'm a god as well. Now when I'm completing missions, if I complete it in my god form, I get various currencies and skill trees to improve on, which allows for more rank and a new power that's called superiority. But the superiority that you have is calculated at the beginning of every invasion, and it's too late for that. And invasions are a global event where a special enemy is invading you and there's a random mission set, so you can fight it off and you get exclusive gear and currency attached to it. And speaking of currency, I've counted a total of 28 different types of currency now, and there's probably even more. But invasions are not the only endgame activity. There's guilds, also known as pantheons, and you can join guild content such as Pantheon Wars, as well as there's also basic PvP, various open world content and missions. There's also raids and various content like parkour speedrunning as well. There's a lot here, and if I was given more time and there was more people online, along with the removal of all the pay-to-win walls within the campaign, this could have been a really solid game, especially since it was on pretty much every main console, and it's a shame it had this much wasted potential. So that's it. That's the end of Skyforge. This was my farewell run, and for anyone who played and loved this game, I hope this video brought back some memories. Rest in peace.